this computer. All right, looks like we're recording. All right, screen share. All right, all right. Oh, let's see if I can't drag that bad boy out of there. Sweet. Well, thank you all for getting on. I am going to do my best to honor and respect your time and get this moving, because I know we all got people to take care of and things to do. So, all right, let's jump right into this. So today's agenda, you guys did an amazing job with your shares. Thank you so much for doing your way of being shares. It was phenomenal to see so many people jump in the group and share their heart, their passion, and just be transparent and authentic. That's really how we all get better, is the more transparent and authentic we are with each other, the further we're going to grow. So again, there is no time like the present for you guys to step up and be unstoppable leaders for yourself first, right? I talked to Coach the guy yesterday, and if we're not taking care of our temple, if we're not taking care of ourselves, our families, our relationships, our businesses, everything else is going to be a wreck. So it starts with us, and that's why it's great that you guys are on this. But again, we want to make sure that we're taking care of us first. Otherwise, we're no good to anybody else. Right? So then we can impact our families and our communities. We need to lay down the foundation for generations to come. Your kids and those around you, look at the habits and things that you're doing, right? They see you, they honor you, they look up to you, and they will start to pattern those. And so if we want to impact those generations, we need to make sure that we ourselves are being diligent in who we need to be and being responsible. Today, we're going to talk about resistance. Resistance is futile, but we need to be self-aware or become self-aware, learn how to become self-aware, and then find ways to work through the resistance. But it's in everything. I'm going to show you guys some examples. And that's really the thing that hangs people up. It's that internal resistance that's blocking us from progressing forward. We want to identify gaps. So what I call gap living. And so that's where there's voids and things that you can and should be doing. We're going to discuss that as we get further. Thank you again for being active in the Facebook group. Make sure you're there. We all need the support and encouragement to keep each other moving. And then the units, if you didn't find those, again, today when we're done, I'll post the audio, video, and the homework in that unit section in the Facebook group for you guys to print out and do what you need to do. All right. Again, our foundational 5-6 day blueprint. We're doing mindset, resistance, moment, our unstoppable moment, which will hit Friday. Our 7 layers, habits, and focus. My outcomes for you, right? I want you guys to get clarity in your gaps, where you need to improve on things. Clarity on when and where to implement. And so you need to be strategic in your timing. Sometimes, first we don't take enough action, but then sometimes we're taking action in the wrong times and spending energy doing things that we don't need to be spending energy on, which is affecting our outcomes. We want to get clarity. Wednesday, Friday, we're going to go deep on our why and why it's important to you. Really, what's possible? That's possibility thinking, and then you guys to start moving towards your desired state, from where you're at now to where you want to be within your faith, your family, your finances, and your fitness. And that's going to be today's homework. We're going to discuss that. All right. So Luke 22:40 says, on reaching that place, he said to them, pray that you will not fall into temptation. So temptation is basically resistance. We're going to get really deep into this today. But so once we start to get closer and closer and deeper, that's when the resistance is elevated. It's when it's pushed back to us more. When you start to do bigger and greater and more dynamic, vision-filled, heart-filled, spiritual-filled things, temptation sneaks in, and temptation is resistance. It's the devil sneaking in and making you want to do other things to avoid moving into that place of greatness. Oh, progress, advance. All right. So mindset. We need to rewrite our story. And that's what you guys did with day 1, right? We're rewriting our story. Unfortunately, a lot of people adopt, and no offense taken, but stepchild syndrome, right? They have something that was given to them, spoken into them when they were a young kid, when we were young boys, whether it was, middle school, elementary, high school, something, a teacher, a coach, a parent, a friend that you looked up to, somebody spoke negativity into you, and people will adopt and accept that mentality of that's their being and so we need to rewrite that story. We need to remove those blocks, those scotomas, those preconceived ideas of who we are and who we become, and rewrite it so we can move forward. But we need to eliminate that stepchild syndrome and really start to pour into ourselves as men and become all that we can be. All right, so here's your commitment, right? I, Paul Reed, am committing to take the unstoppable challenge and to my best effort, fighting the resistance within, moving me towards my desired state of being. All right, so when you go back through this, I want all of you guys to commit to improving yourself, right? Because again, we are a direct reflection, or our life is a direct reflection of who we are and what we're doing. So commit to yourself. So awesome to see this, right? I couldn't get all of you guys on there. Some of you just did them this morning, but it was amazing to see you guys again, opening up, sharing your heart, your passion, and being committed to the process, right? So everybody that did this, you jumped all in. You said, I'm going to have faith over fear. I'm going to act, and I'm going to move forward. So it was heartwarming, spirit-filled to see all of you guys doing that. Let's all make sure that we're praying for Brother Nick right there in the middle. If you saw his video yesterday, was diagnosed with cancer about a month ago, Cairo here in town. But it was just, again, amazing to see all of you guys stepping up and committing to the process. All right, time to awaken our genius. So the Latin word, right? So Latin word for Romans used to denote inner spirit, holy, inviolable, which watches over us, right? So our genius watches over us. It's the spirit, internal spirit of our own that watches over who we are. Its job is to protect us. Its job is to accelerate us into our future. But most of us aren't living in our genius. Most of us are, again, living somebody else's story. So let's step into our genius today. So what stops us? Paulie's up here. What is preventing us? Right now, we're in our present reality. So here's your current state or your present reality, the things that we're living today, where our faith is at, where our relationships with our families at, where our fitness is at, where our bank account's at, where our work's at. So here's our present reality. So we need to start to evaluate that and then move to our desired state. So here's where I want to go. Here's where I want to end up in 12 months from now, is in this different place of being. You know, I want my relationship to be stronger with my wife and my kids. I want my faith to grow deeper. I want my fitness to be better. I want to excel at work in a specific thing, or I want to make more money. Or I want to save more money. This is our desired state. And the only difference, between where you're at now and where you want to be is that resistance that we're going to talk about. Right? Your inner genius awaits. The bigger the mission, the greater the resistance. I already spoke on that, but the bigger the mission, the bigger the purpose, the bigger your desires, the greater the resistance. So on the left, we're going to talk about some things of resistance, right? So examples, rationalizing. Oh, I really want to do that? Do I have to do that? Well, maybe I don't, maybe it won't change my life that much. Maybe a little bit extra money in the bank account doesn't really matter. All those things that internally we start to experience. And I'm no different than you guys. I have that stuff all the time, and it's continuous. I remember, when I finished playing ball, Ty on here saw me when I showed up at school as large and in charge. More large than in charge, I guess. But cutting that weight from 280 down to, I committed to do a bodybuilding show while we were in, going through school, get my sexy back. And, man, when you spend 5 years eating whatever you want, lifting all the time, eating more of whatever you want, drinking whatever you want, and going from 220 to 285, life gets, that's easy, right? There was no resistance in me putting something in my pie hole mouth and eating it. But the resistance got strong as I was like, all right, well, I can't have pizza anymore. I can't have soda anymore. I can't have all this, stuff that's terrible for me. So I had all that stuff, all that rationalizing. Do I really want to do the bodybuilding show? Is it worth it? This is, this is easier. And so we need to understand these things. And and step in. And, you know, I don't think I'm any different than you guys, but we all have these rationalizations. We all have fear, right? Like, should I do that? Is there any benefit in it? What, you know, maybe, you know, and fear is just our internal ego trying to protect us from exposing us to potential injury or harm. Our body, it's a natural thing. But we need to work through that fear so that we can get to that desired state of being. And then there's the, I'm going to put it off till tomorrow. I'll get to it tomorrow. I'll start my diet tomorrow. I'll just start to study tomorrow. I'll start to memorize tomorrow. The laters, you know, maybe later. I'll get to that later. It's no big deal. It's a small thing. Well, we know that these small things, our small habits, our small accomplishments each and every day build to those big ones. So it's not a small thing. The I'm too busy. Like, that's just one more thing on my plate. If it's on your heart, if it's in your spirit, you're being led to do something, you need to look and evaluate and maybe stop doing something else and fulfill doing what you're supposed to do. And we fill our lives up with busyness right now with social media. Instead of, you know, putting the phone down, the computer down, going and exercising, going to read a book, going to spend time with your wife or your kids, going doing a fun activity with them. I'm going to spin through here and spend, you know, hours a day on social. The someday, I'll get to that someday. It's not really that important to me now. I'll do it someday. Complacency, just pure apathy, complacency, not wanting to move forward. Again, time, money. I don't have the resources. I don't have the resources to start that business that I want to. I don't have the resources to buy the new car, to buy the house, to advance myself. These are all things that we get stuck in. Fear of success, right? That's a huge one I see when I'm coaching people is they're not achieving their full abilities because they're afraid of the responsibility and obligations that comes with being more successful. So fear of success is a real thing. And then just belief in yourself. You know, we don't resist it. We just don't believe in ourselves. And so we don't take action. And then the action doesn't give us the results. And then we have less belief, and then less belief leads to less action. And so these are some of the resistance we experience. So resistance is internal, right? It's all stuff that starts between our ears. It's insidious. It's impersonal. It doesn't matter who we are. It doesn't matter what color we are. It doesn't matter what race we are. It doesn't care. It's impersonal. It's universal. It is everywhere. It doesn't matter. It's not just in the United States. It's not just in Washington. It is universal. It is everywhere. Resistance never stops. It doesn't sleep, right? It's I love the Will Smith clip. I just spaced the movie, but when all the zombies are attacking, and he quotes Bob Marley saying that evil never takes a day off. How can I rest? And it's same thing. It never stops. It's fueled by fear. So that you know, like a dog smells your fear, the greater your fear, the greater that resistance is going to pour on you. It's unidirectional. It's never like me with that losing that weight. It was easy to go to a negative direction. We are self-destructive beings. It's easy to destroy my house. It's easy, like all these rioters, to set buildings on fire. It's going to take months. It took minutes to destroy that thing. It's going to take years for some of them to rebuild. So that's the resistance. Resistance is universal. It's easy to go down. Resistance is stopping you from moving up. It recruits allies. It puts people in your life, coworkers, friends that feed the negativity. And that's why we need to protect our surroundings and who we're hanging out with. So it's going to recruit allies to rain on your parade, for lack of better descriptions. Right? And the closer we get to accomplishing it, the closer we get to that finish line, right? That marathon, like if you've done them, I've done one, and the two that I've done, those last 6 to 10 miles are the worst. And so the closer you get to the finish line, the stronger the resistance is going to be. All right, Pat Riley, resistance is not a peripheral opponent. Resistance is self-generated, self-perpetuated. Resistance is the enemy within. And that's just pure fact. And we need to overcome that. Self-awareness, your inner firearm. So I want you guys to learn to start thinking about what you're thinking. And I know that sounds really weird, but we need to start analyzing our thoughts, and especially when it's a negative thought. Start asking yourself where that came from, what that's rooted in, and why did that pop up? What experience did I have? Because our lives are just a direct reflection of our experiences that we've had in the past. So the things that the way that we interpret things are just based on something that happened to us previously. So start to think about what you're thinking about. I know it's weird and it's really hard, but when you start doing that, you'll see when that, our last call, I talked about telling yourself to cancel, clear, and then reconnect. And it's significant that you start thinking about what you're thinking about, and you'll see those negative things start to sneak in that are compromising you and inhibiting you and slowing you down from moving closer to that desired state. Dalai Lama, the enemy is a very good teacher. We all learn lessons from failure, and failure is the enemy that's stopping you from moving closer. But we don't recognize that enemy unless we become more self-aware. And you see people in your lives, right? We all have friends. If you go back to high school, we have the buddy that we knew that is, we saw his patterns in life, and he's still at the bar, still not, fulfilling who he should have become. And so that enemy has overtaken that person's life. They're still using drugs, still doing all the same stupid crap. And so the enemy is strong in those people, and they haven't figured out ways to overcome it. And we all have that in smaller means. So we need to learn from that teacher. Lies. I heard this on a podcast a few months ago. Limiting ideas entertain. So that's a great acronym for lies. You guys should all write that down. But a lie is basically a limit idea entertain. So you're entertaining that I cannot, I won't, I'm unable, I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm not good looking enough, I don't have enough swagger to attract that gal. And so those lies are just limited ideas that you're buying into, right? You're mentally buying into that's preventing you from moving to your limited state. So lies, limited ideas entertain. Life's accelerator. So we're tracking good today. We're going to get you guys out of here in plenty of time. So our homework is we want to analyze where we are at in our current state. I put up a scale of 10 things. You're going to answer them from 1 to 10, honestly. And it doesn't benefit anybody. It doesn't benefit you, doesn't benefit the group, doesn't benefit you getting to where you want to be if you're not transparent, honest with yourself as you're answering these. And so 1 being the worst, like, hey, on my faith, and 10 being the best. So, hey, on my faith, I feel like I'm a 5 right now. I'm doing my quiet time, but I'm not serving as much as I want to, or I'm not doing my quiet time, or your fitness. I'm not. Hey, I look okay, but I'm not really fit. I'm not exercising. I'm still eating bad. I'm not getting enough sleep. All those things. So I want you guys to manage and judge yourselves based on the reality of where you're at. Another example will be your family. I'm not doing date nights with my wife, so there's strain because I'm working all day, so I'm not connecting with her. You have to carve that out and make the time to move where you're at. So then I want you guys to score yourselves. You're gonna add those up, and you're gonna score yourselves out of 100. Where am I at? Where do I land? What percent right now am I out of 100? I think the next slide is gonna show us those, right? So there's your faith, your family, your fitness, your finances, your fun, your happiness, love, commitment, confidence, and career. Right? So grade yourselves, print that out, grade yourselves. All right. Again, put in there up the top. So I put it in the slide, the 3rd or 4th slide, but I commit to taking the Unstoppable Man Challenge and giving it my best effort. Sign that. So you put it up on in your office so that you see it and read it regularly. But beware, right? When you make progress, resistance is going to get strong. So the first one is we're going to analyze where we're at. And then next, we're going to progress into where we want to be. So Aristotle said, we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence then is not an act, but a habit. So we got to get in the habit of doing the things that are going to move the needle closer to that desired state. And it could be as small as like, I'm going to pick the book up and read for 5 minutes. Today I'm going to do 5 or 10 push-ups. Tomorrow, and just progress. But it has to start with those habits. Those acts turn into habits. Our last one we said, I believe it came from Pastor Huck, said, sow a thought, reap an act, sow an act, reap a habit, sow a habit, reap a destiny. And so we become what we repeatedly do. So start incorporating that stuff. All right, so 12 months from now. So the second homework assignment is you're going to do that same thing, but it's where you're going to analyze where you want to be. And then as we go the next 4 sessions, we're going to implement those steps. So then I want you to honestly, and you might not be a 10, don't just write 10s on every single one of them, because you might not be a 10 for one specific thing. So it's the same score, the same scoring, but be true to you. Here's where I want to be with my career. Here's my confidence. Like I want to accelerate. I'm a 3 and I want to get that, up to a 6, my fitness right now, I'm a 5 and I want to be a 9, because then we're going to go through, what does that look like? What is that going to take for you to get there? So be real. Don't just, look internally to your spirit of where you want to be with each one of these, because it's the more honest you are with yourself, the easier it is for you to succeed and accomplish these things. The more you're telling me what you think I want to hear, or what your wife wants to hear, or your coworkers want to hear, that's not you. We need to do this for you guys so that you can accomplish it. Bruce Lee, the successful warrior is the average man with laser-like focus. The successful warrior is the average man with laser-like focus, right? So laser-like focus, that which we focus on, right, we're going to accomplish, right? We got to get crystal clear on those things of where we want to be. So again, be true to you. Don't have a facade of what you think you want. Like, put down what you want. And the more definite, the more certain we are, the more likely we are to accomplish those things. All right. So your right fast action steps, get that scorecard, right? Your current life's excellence finder, your scorecard for your life's excellent finder in 12 months from now. Take those percentages and show us. Again, this is about being open and authentic so that we can encourage each other to go deep. And so put where you're at, where you want to go. And then the last section on there tells, after you finish if I go back up, I don't know how to do that. But if you go back, there's a couple, 3 or 4 lines for you to write in 90 seconds. Don't overthink. Where do I want to be? Just write it out, like whatever comes to your heart, because that's what's at top of mind awareness. When we start to analyze and over procrastinate, that's not truly who we are. So again, I think that's it. Let me exit out of stop my share. All right, and make this guy big. All right, gentlemen, again, excellent work on getting everything done. Looks like I got a couple chats in here. Let's see if there's anything I need to answer. I Am Legend. I love it, George. Oh, that's the movie. Yep, I Am Legend, Will Smith. Thank you, brother. Yeah, so hey, gentlemen, awesome work on getting those, your way of beings done. Let's get now your homework, your assignments of where your present reality is and those things and your desired state. So again, awesome work. Again, shoot me some emails if you guys got questions on this stuff. Just want to pour into you and help you become better. If you don't have anything, let's break, let you guys get to work, go enjoy the sunshine, do what you got to do to become unstoppable. All right, gentlemen, have an awesome day.
Thanks, Dr. P. See you.